me some ice. Skin me a peach and save the fuzz for my pillow. Poach me a prawns, talk to me nice, you got to wine me. Anytime I'm getting hungry, peel me a grape.
I'm Laura Bonicelli, and we are cooking with Italian style. It's not always fast, it's not always easy, and it's not always Italian. We use the freshest and finest ingredients that we can find and afford, and we not only savor the meals we make, we savor making them. That's cooking with Italian style. This week, we're making dill pollen mayo with creme fraiche. It makes a great accompaniment for fish, also a wonderful dip with vegetables or anything you feel like dipping. We're doing this one completely from scratch. Let's get cooking. I've gathered all of my ingredients together, and everything in this recipe is important, but the real hero is, of course, our dill pollen. Fennel pollen and dill pollen have been popular in Tuscan cooking for years, but just become popular in American cuisine. This comes from a California company, they're now growing it out there, called Pollen Ranch Spices, and I'll post this link on my website with this recipe, solobybonicelli.com. Anyway, pollen is exactly what it says. It comes from the dried flower and it captures the essence of the spice. So this is like dill plus. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to get my apron on and we'll start putting this together. So we're starting with 2 room temperature eggs. I'm just adding the second one to my food processor bowl. And then 2 teaspoons of dried mustard, very powdery. Teaspoon of kosher salt, teaspoon of sugar, and now we get into the real spicy stuff. This is a tablespoon of garlic powder, and just to keep it even more interesting, a clove of chopped garlic, then a tablespoon of celery salt, and a heaping tablespoon. So this is going to be like a tablespoon and a teaspoon of our dill pollen. Then a tablespoon of dried parsley and 2 teaspoons cracked pepper. Perfect. Now, put the top on the food processor and start it up and let it go for about a minute. All right, now take the top off, and I'm going to zest in the yellow part only. That's important because the pith, the white part, is bitter, so the yellow part only of 1 lemon. And then I'm going to juice this lemon and this other lemon and add that to the mix. So I wound up with about 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice, and I'm just going to pour that through a strainer right into my bowl, along with the lemon zest. Don't want any seeds or pulp in there. Just let that drain through. Okay, good. Then, return my top, and another minute. I'm just going to turn this off, and this is important. Scrape the sides down. Getting all of that good stuff back down into the bottom of the bowl. Like that. Okay, top back on and start this up again. So as this is going, I'm pouring in 2 cups of canola oil. And I use canola oil because it's very good for you. And it's kind of tasteless, so it doesn't add anything like an olive oil to the flavor. And you can see how it's starting to slow down because it's thickening up. Perfect. I let this go for about a minute. It's nice and thick. I'm just scraping it down one last time. And I'll put my top back on, another 10 seconds, and we are ready to go. So now I'm just putting this into my bowl. This mayo at this point makes an absolutely unbelievable potato salad. So if you toss this with some cooked cubed potatoes and a little celery and onion, it would be amazing. And it smells so dilly. So, but for our purposes, to serve it with fish, I'm going to cut it down a little bit with some creme fraiche. This is about a 7-ounce container. And I'm just going to mix that in. It doesn't really thin it all that much, but it does take a little bit of the intensity away. And just fold that in until it's all incorporated. What I've done here is chopped up some baby peppers that are so popular right now and blanched for just 2 minutes in boiling water some asparagus that I got right from the farmer's market. And then I just put it in a stop bath of ice water for 2 minutes, and it stays that beautiful bright green. And now I'm going to actually use some real dill, not dill pollen, to garnish. So colorful and beautiful. If you want this recipe and more, go to solobybonicelli.com and click on the recipe button. I really hope you enjoy making my dill pollen mayo with creme fraiche and cooking with Italian style. Thanks Parc Boutique for the wardrobe, and buon appetito! Now let's taste this. Wow.